Good morning to you all. This is a quick video I'll just make in response to some comments regarding training on one of the groups, in particular saying cardio and strength training, but something to do with grip strength. And in all the years I've been doing boxing, grip strength actually is a very important part of the delivery of a punch and training your sort of hand and wrist and forearm area, mostly for injury prevention, but it's also for on the impact of a strike that your fist stays where it's supposed to stay. What I mean by that is that generally when you punch, you may consider that the larger knuckles in your fist are the areas where you hit someone with, but it's actually this knuckle here where you deliver, or you should really be delivering most of your punches when you hit a target. That part of your fist there. And the reason why I say that is because the alignment of your arm, that is the straightest point right the way through your arm to your elbow. So the idea is that of the extension of your arm and your fist when you're striking a target, is that that's the area that's hitting first and pushing through with the energy and the force, and that's going right the way through that part there. If you hit a target too low, what can happen is that you get an injury from your fist buckling that way and tearing muscles or tendons here and causing an injury there or a sprain. And same again, if you go too high on the target, your wrist can rotate that way and you're going to tear muscles underneath here. And as you can see there, where I've flexed that through, tendons there and the actual muscle itself, you can get dislocations of the wrist in most severe sort of cases. But generally speaking, it's going to be sprains and light injuries. But if that's in the middle of a fight, you're not going to be able to punch with that arm anymore, which is important because you need it. So generally speaking, you're punching in that alignment there with that knuckle that you can see there just protruding, coming down that centre line. So grip strength is important. So I want to very quickly talk through a few things. So the bottom end is this sort of resistance ball, whether you call them a stress ball or they're usually just sponge or foam material, get them from most toy shops, doesn't have to be a sports shop. Generally what that's going to do is it's very low resistance. So you're going to be doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, and what it will gradually do in your arm is build up lactic acid, which will strain the muscles, and you obviously recover from that part, and it will get the arm used to being worked a lot and recovering quickly as well, apart from sort of stamina of that area of your body and your arm. It will help with the aid with the recovery because your body's then used to getting oxygenated blood to these muscles fast for recovery, so you can carry on and do it again. So these are going to be lots and lots and lots of pressures, lots and lots of repetitions, which won't really build the muscle. It will to an extent and strengthen it, but it's more about sort of toning and getting that muscle prepared. And as you can see from using that in the light, it's hard to do. But with a stress ball, you can do is use different parts of your arm. So if I want to focus on the top part of my arm, using my index finger on the top part of my hand, and the middle part, using the middle part of my forearm there, and then obviously lower down, the smaller fingers, you can train the lower part of your arm. So you can actually focus on different areas of your arm for that training, but generally you're going to just be squeezing that and using the whole thing, and all the muscles in your arm are going to be worked and used. So that's very light resistance. You get others that are slightly larger, but again they can be medium resistance. They can get quite firm, but again these are built for doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, building the pressure up the lactic acid in your arm and then recovering. Similar to what I want to show you what's coming next, but again, when you feel that burn in your arm and the lactic acid build up and your muscles have been stressed, usually at the end of a set, depending how many I'm doing, let's just say I'm do 100 repetitions. At the end, I might hold that in a fixed position, in a tense position for 20, maybe 30 seconds, which will really, I found it has helped improve the grip, not just from doing the repetition, but holding onto that grip and holding it while the muscle is under duress is the easiest way of saying it. But that's the lower end of the scale, where you're going to have high repetition, low resistance. Moving up slightly, these hand grips are something you might be familiar with. This one's fairly medium resistance. Again, you can kind of try and do certain areas by doing certain parts of your hand to train certain parts of your forearm, but generally speaking what you're going to be doing, the idea is moving that bar next to that bar as close as you can and pinching it, so you bring it together like that. So again, repetitions, quite squeaky, they're quite old. They do in time, the resistance goes a little bit, but they're so cheap you can replace them easy enough. I've done thousands and thousands of repetitions with these, so they're not going to be as strong as they used to be. But again, I might do probably about 300 repetitions with this, and then at the end you hold on to that 20-30 seconds while the muscle is stressed, and I find that is more effective at the end of training with them to improve the grip strength. So you're holding on while you're tired, basically. Is an excellent way of doing that. A York model, but you get different tie. This one's slightly bigger, but a much heavier resistance. They are similar sort of size springs, but obviously with the material that they use with can offer a tougher resistance. Same principle again. You're going to be, yes, that's in the reverse mode of that, but you just do multiple repetitions and bringing those together, and then obviously you can hold that and hold on to those at the end of a workout. If you've done 20 or 50 or 100 or however many you build up to, that's your personal choice. But then I find that holding those in a set position for 20-30 seconds really improves your grip at the end, because you're stressing the muscle and stressing your arm while you're already tired, which then your muscle then has to work even harder, and the blood's going to that area. It's going to help that muscle not only in your grip strength but faster recovery. The last one, this is more, you get things called, not as much now, these are called bull workers, and it was like a metal rod that you would either compress with a spring, or it had bands down the side and you would pull it away and you'd stretch it out and do something sort of similar with stress, putting the stress on it. But for the grip, this is a grip bar which looks a bit like a suspension spring. You can see there's grip handles. These loops, I'll show you why these are important in a second. But you get different strength grades of these. Now this one's a 40 kilograms. I've seen this model is in 20, 30 or 40 kilogram. Obviously I've got the 40, and that's the amount of pressure you've got to put on it to bend it. So 40 kilograms of pressure. So obviously these are very, very sort of tight springs. And the idea is that gripping onto those, putting my hand through, because obviously it's a very hard tool to use, and if you lose your grip while you're using this, and you can imagine that you're bending it and you're putting someone under stress, and you lose the grip at one end, the idea is that the handles touch. So you're going to bring this right the way around or as far as you can and bring that touch. If you let go of that while it's under tension, you're going to take your face off, basically, or it's going to disappear off and put a hole in the roof and vanish, and you got a bit of a plastering job to do. So these with the bull work is similar sort of thing. Whether you have them close to your chest and you bend them and you're using them under that sort of pressure, that's easy because you can bring in your shoulders into it. So really, if you're testing your grip strength, really what you should be doing is getting further away from your body. So using them close up, as you can see, they're putting it under stress. That's 40 kilograms. Bringing my hands together, but I've got those bars around my hand, you can see, in case I let go and it flies off. This would be a really embarrassing video if I let go and it smashed me in the face and knocked me out. Probably be entertaining, but from my point of view, I wouldn't fancy it. So again, as you get more advanced with that and you get stronger, the idea is that you get the bar further away, because you can't put your shoulders into it. So then it's all about your wrist and your forearm strength. The same again, you're using that bar and you're bringing it around, you're making it touch and you're letting it go again. But that's trying to keep it under control, because you might do 10 or 20 repetitions of that with the 40 kilo press, whether you have a 30 or a 20. But the idea is, again, is that you control it and you make your hands touch or as close as you can. And I do sets of 20, and the same again on the last set. I might hold it for 20 or 30 seconds, depending on the sort of pressure you're putting on. Try and keeping your arms as far away as you can. And obviously, as you get stressed, it's going to start to wobble because there's constant pressure. This thing's trying to straighten itself out, and obviously, as you can see there, it's quite a bit of pressure it's trying to put on you. Those are a few examples of sort of grip strength, from the gripper bar to the hand grips. And then again, going down the scale to sort of softer, sort of stress balls, but they're all useful, and hopefully one of those will be helpful for you in helping you with your strength or your grip training. Okay, thank you.